You know when I start the live stream, right? Can you just try at 6? Or actually, now it's fine. Actually, it's good. Yeah.
Just check for Max. Yeah. No, that is not. No, then you need that. Trust me, huh? That's all there is. I'm kidding. Yeah, and the way
Hi everyone, we'll be getting started in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yep. Hi everyone, we're gonna get started now. If everybody wants to take a seat. There. Awesome. Thank you all for being here. I'm very excited to have all these teams come and pitch. Before we get started, I'm just gonna go through. So Launchpad and Zero2One are excited to have this event. Zero2One itself as an organization, we're a nonprofit and an RSO that helps people kind of get into their startup and their entrepreneurship journey. We focus on mentoring, helping people learn about entrepreneurship and building their startups. Launchpad, specifically this event that we're all here at today, is focused on helping them get a platform to pitch their startups, give them the push that they need to take the first step into this journey.
Hi, I'm Soham. I'm this year's Vice President for Zero2One. Before we begin, I would like to thank our sponsors, iVenture, TEC, and Engineering Council. Without them, we couldn't have done this event. We'd also like to thank CIF for allowing us to host this event. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sahar. I'm Outreach Director this year at Zero2One, and I just wanted to introduce our judges. And if you're standing here, it's Laura Flyle, Rishit Durek, Gilbert Chan, Bob McCabe, and Jacob Kinsey. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you want to share anything about yourself before we move on.
Hi, my name is Jacob Kinsey. I'm the Director of the Jelly Office of Experiential Learning at the Peace College of Business. At the Jelly Office, we help students to get real-world experience by working with companies to embed their projects within the classroom. And then I also have a part-time business called Kinsey Labs, which is an AI consultancy.
Thanks. I'm Bob McCabe with the Discovery Partners. Those of you who don't know DPI is the University of Illinois System Office organization that is charged with economic development activities throughout the state of Illinois. We're a small team of 5 people. We help start companies based on research technologies developed across the campuses.
Hello, I'm Phil Chen. I'm a physician at Carl. I teach at the medical school. I help with some of the innovation programs on campus. I also have a separate organization we just started, IDA Labs, where we help to culture small teams locally for community benefit.
Hi, my name is Rishit. I've been a part of the venture capital ecosystem for the past 4 years. Started my own investment bank helping early stage startups raise funds from venture capital institutions, corporate VCs, angel investors. Did that for a while, was a venture partner at one of India's largest angel investing platforms. Helped the firm raise its first angel fund with $15 million. Over the past 6 months or so, I've been working with Illinois Ventures backing early stage deep tech, health tech, and life sciences startups. So excited to be here, and thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Weil. I'm the Director of External Engagement at the University of Illinois Research Park. We are home to the Enterprise Works Technology Business Incubator, where companies can pre-incubate, incubate, and hopefully graduate into success. And we've had many student-founded companies that have found their path through Enterprise Works. The Research Park is home to over 120 companies, startups, as well as many large corporations. Many of them employ students, so startups also employ students. So sometimes your startup path may not be as a founder, but as an employee. So we encourage that activity as well. Like some of the others on this panel, I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a local digital media company that's best known as ShandanMoms.com, and I'm grateful to the team for inviting me to be here today. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Thanks to all of our judges for quick intros. My name is Akila. I'm the future president of Zero2One. So I'm going to go through our agenda really quick. So we are having. So first of all, we're going to have pitches from 6 p.m. till 6:50, and then from 6:50 till 7:10, we're going to have a keynote from Professor Liz Purpose.
From 7:10 till 8, we're gonna have pitches again, and from 8 till 8:15, we're gonna have judges deliberations, and from 8:15 till 8:30, we're gonna have awards. Thanks a lot for coming in again, and let's get started. So yeah, we're probably gonna start with the pitches. This is our very first part of Launchpad. So the first company that is gonna go on stage and introduce themselves is gonna be OpenAmp and Track Maheshwari as their CEO.
Hello everyone, I'm going to be pitching OpenAmp, a performant, accessible, and high-quality microamplifier for playing the electric guitar. Just an introduction, my name is Chirag, I'm a junior in computer engineering, and I like rock music, which is where this project comes from. So just to give you a bit of a background, I started off playing acoustic guitar, and when you play acoustic guitar, you don't have to deal with, well, wondering why your guitar doesn't make any sound. So when I jumped into playing the electric, I found that there's a whole ecosystem of very expensive and very inconvenient to use tools and hardware that you need just to get playing. And a lot of these, especially ones that actually do sound good, are very expensive and are locked behind confusing proprietary systems. I wanted to fix that. So OpenAmp really seeks to allow you to have access to a board which uses professional, high-quality hardware, so top-of-the-line microcontrollers. The firmware that allows you to customize what it does is open, so it's really up to you to see what you can do with it. And it seeks to be an all-in-one solution that allows you to practice, record, and monitor guitar. And so this is what the final hardware would sort of look like. OpenAmp is that board right there. It would take in a signal from your guitar and will use the microcontroller to process all those signals and also the memory so that you could record it on the board itself, along with all your effects and everything else. And it should be able to do, it should be able to either work with your computer, so you can use it on your favorite desktop music production computer, or perform on stage with a stage amplifier, or record at home and listen to yourself over a pair of headphones. Right. The market opportunity is immense. Within the United States, you have 16 million players, and OpenAmp is a project which should easily scale globally. Most of these players are beginners and intermediates who should probably find this affordable option extremely compelling. And the effects and pro audio market for guitar alone is worth $2 billion over the course of the next few years. So the business model I have in mind for OpenAmp is to allow people to directly license the manufacturing files and get their board shipped and assembled to them by themselves. And in exchange, I charge them a small licensing fee. That way there'd be basically no expenses upfront for maintaining an inventory or managing a supply chain. There's also low R&D since the hardware is the easy part of the solution, and the firmware, which requires a lot more work, will be done in an open and community-driven manner. So this approach might seem a bit strange, giving away like the firmware of your product freely, but this is a pretty tried and true approach, at least in the open hardware space. A lot of successful products have used this. So you have the Arduino rack, which is pretty recognizable, but you also have like the OpenPilot, which is a self-driving assistant for cars that is first and beats like Tesla. And the way I hope to get people to get to know about OpenAmp is by reaching out to YouTube channels where guitar players and enthusiasts watch, maybe a Kickstarter campaign, hobbyist forums, and really reaching out to the enthusiasts themselves and getting it known. So the financial projections and strategy, just to put some of the numbers more concretely, the bill of materials for this already better than the current, options product is like $40 to $50. And if you add in a small licensing fee, it should be no more than $60 to $70. Whereas hardware that can do basically what this can do is a lot more expensive. It needs to be run into the hundreds of, if not the thousands of dollar range. And it is also a community-driven model, so it will allow people to collaborate and be able to share the same hardware to be and allow them to change, create nodes. Right. Thank you. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions?
Can you describe your team who's involved with this project?
Right now it's just me, but I am looking for people who have experience in hardware or embedded.
Have you spoken to any potential customers, and if so, what is their feedback been to the idea?
I have spoken with a lot of my friends who do perform like music, especially in the Champaign Urbana house show scene, and we thought it would be a great idea because generally speaking, they also have to lug around pretty heavy amplifiers and things like that, and to try and play the music they like, it's not viable inside a dorm room or something like that. So they thought it was a good idea.
What's your competition?
Our competition really is established audio companies and effects companies that you've probably heard of, like Fender, which is obviously pretty big and pretty pioneer in the guitar space. But their best option is multiple times more expensive and a lot worse. And OpenAmp really comes from my experience of using one of their micro amplifiers, the Mustang Micro, which is $150 and very, very crappy. And they have really no incentive to provide a low cost and affordable performance option.
So if the goal is to make this really accessible, how does any company that licenses your designs, how does it make it willing for them to invest the money to let 16 million guitarists know if the product they're marketing is exactly the same as the product 18 other people are marketing?
Any company, well, I plan on really just setting it up so that people can directly order it themselves and making that process as seamless as possible. Was your question that if people would wonder if it's a better option compared to?
Well, if you're licensing the designs, right?
Yeah.
Licensing
Yes.
in theory, you would license it to a company could license it and make hundreds of them.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
But why would any company do that if somebody else can make the exact same product?
Right. Yeah, that's a fair question. So when I say the design, I mean I'll be sharing the manufacturing files, which you could have any hardware manufacturer use. So you wouldn't be able to just have the design in hand. And licensing the way it would be is that you just can't openly share it. It is a direct-to-consumer approach. So at first I envisioned hobbyists trying to use it and getting feedback from them, and then eventually getting towards a more refined product.
So I know you put in the Raspberry Pi as an example. I guess I'm trying to think through if I'm trying to order this as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
You usually don't get the design and have
a
fab and pay licensing fee.
Yeah, the Raspberry Pi is a lot more complicated, and they had a lot more upfront funding. But the Arduino that I had up there, that did start off as a thing that, for example, early adopters would get manufactured by themselves, and they develop. And there was a community that formed around the initial designs, and then eventually, once there was a broad adoption, they were able to set up their own manufacturing facilities and supply chain. Which if OpenApp does see that sort of adoption, would be an option to consider. Thank you.
All right, so our second company will be Hazel, presented by the founder, Shavya Kanigar.
Hi, I'm Shravya Kenya, and I'll be presenting Hazel, a platform connecting alumni with students. So let's look at the problem first. Today, recent studies show that 57% of seniors in college feel pessimistic about going into the workforce. They often look to professors or other academic advisors to help them find job opportunities. However, these staff often lack real-world industry experience, so it is tough to find job opportunities for them. And we all know how hard referrals are to come by. So in order to fix this problem, Hazel offers students connections with alumni who do have real-world industry experience. Hazel allows students to filter through the database and find alumni that match their skill sets, roles, and other preferences that they want to find in their specific fields. Looking at the product, we have 3 major steps. In step 1, the students will have the application process where they apply using uploading a picture of their resume and then answering a few questions that the alumni ask for preferences. In the second step, alumni will have students that are handpicked to best match their preferences, and the students with the best resumes will also be picked. In our third step, we will have a 20-minute Zoom call between the student and the alumni on giving the alumni guidance on how best to support the students. Looking into our competition, our main competition right now is the Illinois State University Mentorship Program, who connects students, parents, and alumni right now. However, they prioritize the students over the alumni, so it doesn't really incentivize the alumni to stay long-term. And this is an issue because in most of the programs that already have connections with alumni and students, we are seeing that alumni usually end up leaving within the first 3 months of the program starting. So there do exist programs such as like the NYC English Department's mentorship program. However, they don't have really a streamlined process to best pick students for the alumni. So our unique value proposition is that we prioritize the alumni over the students, which will incentivize the alumni to stay long-term. We allow the students to filter through the database and also allow the alumni to filter through the database as well to find what's the best match for them. So looking into our business model, for incentivization factors for students, it'll obviously be job opportunities and the connections that they can make with these alumni. For alumni, it'll be that they get referral bonuses by referring the best students to their companies. So at first, our initial growth strategy will involve no money. However, we will be handpicking students that are at UIC currently and then expand outwards. So we have a list of currently 10 to 20 alumni that we are working with, who we will refer the best students to, and then they can set up student calls and then proceed from there. And then eventually we will be looking into a B2B model selling to colleges, and they can streamline the process between alumni and students themselves. So looking into marketing and growth, we will be leveraging platforms such as Instagram and Facebook to help spread the word and attract students as well as alumni. And this is our team.
So thank you for your presentation. You identified LinkedIn as a competitor. Right now, there's no cost of LinkedIn. And some of these things happen informally. We have coffee chats and the ability to reach out to alumni. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you're going to, like, what would you be incentivized as an alumni to come and spend time on this platform versus just passively networking through something like LinkedIn?
Yeah. So on LinkedIn, there's nothing that is only for like school specific, college specific. So on LinkedIn, you can definitely find people that went to the same college, but what we want to do is have separate platforms that are like only posting alumni and students from that school, so it's easier to find further.
have you thought about how this platform would have to interface with existing programs that universities use to manage alumni for things like donations, reunions, etc., so that they can, so that it doesn't require the alumnus to log into different systems, etc.
Yeah, so we haven't mainly seen like any programs that give alumni like referral bonuses for working with students to get more job opportunities. There are like donations and stuff, but it's not a direct streamlined process like solely focusing on job opportunities for students.
How do you plan on incentivizing the alumni? Cash or points or rewards?
So not through us, but the alumni will be incentivized through their company because if they refer good students, then they'll get referral bonuses from their companies.
Two questions. First, what about companies that do not have a referral program ongoing? And secondly, how large of a market do you foresee this to be?
So can you repeat the first question?
How will you incentivize alums to come in who are working in companies that do not have an ongoing referral program?
Okay, so for that, we will be working with alumni by incentivizing them for, well, the money that we get from like selling to colleges, we'll use that money to incentivize alumni to continue working with us. The market. So right now we're mainly focusing on UIUC students, but once we have that down and we figure out the process for UIUC, we'll be expanding to like similar to other colleges.
Have you identified or interviewed any people at the university, whether this university or other universities that may work with alumni or otherwise, and if so, what did you learn from them?
Yeah, so we did do a program where we did like a small event because we have 10 to 20 alumni that are working with us currently, and then we found some engineering students and comp sci students that wanted to work with us. So we went through their resumes, we like set up calls on Zoom with the alumni, and so 2 out of the 10 students that we worked with ended up getting the roles.
Thank you so much. So the next speaker will be Ashu Chakra with his company name Target.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashu, and today I'll be talking about our product called Target. So basically the problem that we're trying to solve is it's very difficult for people on campus to find affordable and convenient parking for short-term durations. Whether it's just people like visiting campus for different events, or students themselves trying to find short-term parking for their classes, is a problem across the board. So what is our product and how do we sell this? Well, Parking is basically an online marketplace platform where people can go and put any extra parking spots they have to share. Like leasing companies and individuals can do this, and then people who are trying to find parking can go on the platform and find their parking there. So we incentivize people to post their available platforms, basically by offering them an opportunity to make extra income, and then we make it very easy for people to find the parking that's available, solving this problem across the board. So who are our customers? Well, on one hand, we of course have people who are trying to find parking. And on this end, I've talked to over 25 people trying to really understand what their main issues and problems are. And on the other hand, we also have people and entities who are trying to share their available parking who have these extra vehicle spaces. So I've talked to several leasing companies on this end, and in particular, we have Smile, a university group, who have stated that they're interested in sharing some extra parking spots on our platform. So how does our business model work? Well, basically we have this parking platform in the center, And on either end, we have one individuals who are trying to find their spots. And on the other end, we have people who are uploading their spots to the platform, like individuals or leasing companies or other entities. And we basically make a profit whenever we charge a service fee whenever a transaction happens. So to go into more detail about this pricing strategy, basically whenever a user books a spot on the platform, there's a payment that's processed and we charge a 5 to 10% fee of this transaction. So to break this down, assuming that the average spot goes for about $12 for an average spot, and then we have 3,000 listed spots, which is a small fraction of the total 50,000 spots on campus. And then we assume like a 70% occupancy rate, we can estimate about $25,000 processed per day. And since we're taking this service fee, that'll be around $1.25 to $2.5 thousand in revenue per platform. So what's our target market? Well, we see that the serviceable obtainable market, the campus parking market is about 900,000 from the calculations we did on the previous slide. And similarly, we see that the serviceable available market is about 58 million. And lastly, the total addressable market in terms of the global parking reservations market is about 1.3 billion plus and is growing very rapidly. As I'll show you on this next slide, market outlook of parking reservation systems. We're still on the left side of this graph, but it's still like $1 billion industry. So we see that it's growing like really rapidly. There's a lot of potential. So what makes us different from other competitors? Well, basically, we're extracting an untapped source of parking that's more flexible. We're not going with just typical parking garages and commercial lots, but we're offering the opportunity for other individuals and entities to upload their spots. Secondly, we're starting hyper locally on campus, and this is our focus, which gives us more reach and no competition. And finally, we have connections with different leasing companies, like I mentioned, to jumpstart the supply to our platform. Okay, so for social impact, basically we solve the problem of parking, which is already a big impact in itself. But also, if we think deeper, we make parking easier to access, which allows more visitors to campus and a more popular campus time. So this is what our landing page currently looks like, similar to this. And if you have any interest in listing your spot or finding a spot or anything in general, then feel free to scan this QR code to check out our site and sign up for our waivers. Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about who your target parker is? There's a big difference between people who are coming here for events or out of town versus students.
Right, that's a good question. So generally we're targeting anyone who wants short-term parking, but if I had to break it down even further, I would say that students are our main priority. People who are trying to find short-term parking on more frequent basis. It's like for classes and things like that where they're kind of, it's difficult to find a quick spot. And those have also been like the main customers that I've talked to on the side of finding parking to really understand their problem.
Champaign as a market is pretty small. You can build a small business here, but if you really want to scale, you will have to go nationwide. And there are several players like Spot Hero, ParkX, who are already in this space who have scaled. And a marketplace is essentially a network effects business. So you have more customers, you have more listeners, and that's how the business grows. So how do you foresee entering other markets apart from Champaign?
Right. Yeah. So we're starting off with Champaign because it's local, it's easy to access. But yeah, definitely we do want to consider scaling in the future. In terms of how we're going to be better than the competition, if we consider like Spot Hero, for example, there's a few differences between Market and what Spot Hero does. First of all, we have this extra untapped source that we're looking at. Spot Hero, it doesn't really have as much reach into the flexible supply that we're targeting. They target more commercial lots and parking garages. And we're trying to go for this untapped source. So we'll have more opportunities in that end. Also, it's not listed on the slide, but I should mention the spot here currently takes about like a 35% transaction fee of every transaction, which is a lot more than we're planning on taking. So I think this is definitely something that we can improve on and provide a cheaper alternative for sure.
As a frequent user of Spot Hero, there's a lot of hardware and technology also involved. Scanning, gate doesn't unlock issues. So you'll have to convince, depending on your system, authentication system, you'll have to figure out some of that, the hardware part. I didn't realize there were that many empty spaces available on campus, close to campus. I can't say I'm certain that. Are you also thinking of people and their driveways and parking lots as opposed to the bigger dorm spaces with 10 or 20 spots?
Right, yeah, so we're definitely targeting like unused spots in general too, as our main supply, but yeah, that's a good point, like driveways, and basically anywhere that people have a space for a car. If they're willing to share that, then that's something that they could then post on our platform. Again, we just want to be as flexible as possible to increase the cost of supply.
So have you thought about what the liability is for people who lease out their driveway and then an accident happens or a fender bender, why should I take the risk that somebody's going to sue me because I made $4 or letting a park in my driveway?
Right, yeah, that's a good question. So that's currently something that we're thinking through, like different models to approach this issue. Not really on the individual side, but on the leasing company side, we talked to leasing companies about their liability in leasing out their individual unused spots, and they do have their own insurance and protections available. So it would work on that end. But on the individual side, we're currently trying to figure out something maybe we could take some of the risk and liability, if we're making up income from other sources, then this could be a risk we're going to take. So yeah, that's a good thing that we'll consider for sure.
Yeah, as I think through this, I think a lot of the other judges have mentioned some good points. I think there is a question in terms of location of the supply. Like there might be supply in Urbana or Champaign, but there's a lot of free parking there already, and the parking that we're talking about is really premium. And so I'm uncertain about the total supply. And then I think risk is a good question, but have you thought through customer acquisition? Because my guess is it's probably going to be harder to get these smaller. Like if you get a large parking conglomerate, let's say, they might have a bunch of different spots, and it's easier to make those relationships. It's a lot harder to verify if you have N number of increasing spots to try to make sure that they're not scams, or how do you protect against that in the marketplace?
Yeah, so we're starting, like you said, it's hard to start without like a big source of parking. So that's why we're targeting like some leasing companies who already have a lot of unused spaces. So we've talked to like a few of them, like Smile, for example, they have a lot of unused parking spaces that they would be willing to share. But then on top of that, you mentioned the individual parkings. How do we access those and like verify them? Well, to like get them on the platform, we're starting off with this wait list right here. Anyone who wants can sign up and we can kind of gauge the supply and go from there. But also in order to verify that they're accurate, we can have some systems in place for maybe like a peer review system. People can review the parking spots offered, and then based on that, we can make sure that they're valid spots. Yeah, good question.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. So the next company is going to be InfraSense by Balaji.
So in August 2007, at around 6:05 p.m., during rush hour traffic, the I-35 Mississippi River Bridge collapsed with about 111 vehicles on it, causing 13 deaths and 105 injuries. Well, this is not an isolated incident though, as the ASCE 2021 infrastructure report card states that America's bridges are average, with over 231,000 bridges still needing structural repairs. The issue of infrastructure degradation is not restricted to the US, as we've seen global societal impacts elsewhere. For example, the Dislink community in this community in Nigeria, where the Golden Link Bridge collapsed in 2017, cutting them off from other communities. So how can we prevent these bridge collapses from happening in my hometown and your hometown? Well, we know as humans we can always go to the doctors to check up our health. How about the same for bridges? That's where we come in at InfraSense. We propose to use wireless sensors to remotely monitor bridges so that bridge owners can always know the status of their bridges. I know some might say, well, these type of solutions already exist, and that's true. There are currently wireless solutions in the market which are good, but they are expensive. Take the case of the X-Node. It would cost about $25,000 to use this in monitoring a bridge annually. Because you would need more than one sensor to monitor the bridge, in addition to costs for communication, analytics, cloud infrastructure, and so on. And so this makes these types of solutions inaccessible to low-income countries. At InfraSense, our solution would use off-the-shelf components and 3D printing to build our sensors, making us create a low-cost wireless sensor platform for remote monitoring of structures. And we would also leverage AI for real-time data analysis so that bridge owners can always know the condition of their bridges 24/7. In addition to the purchase cost, we will also have monthly subscriptions. We estimate that the cost of making one sensor is about $50, with an expected lifetime of 3 to 5 years, and bringing in an income of about $215 per year. Bridge owners are interested in this low-cost solution because the cost of the field structure is potentially up to $50,000. Our goal is to make wireless sensors more accessible to low-income countries, and from our market research, we figured there are 11,000 bridges in Nigeria. If we're able to get about 20% of this market, we'll have a $3.3 million market. Expanding in the future to other countries in Africa, that goes to about $2.5 million, and expanding to all developing countries with other types of infrastructure as well gives a 1.65 billion market size. Once we finish developing our prototype sensors, we plan to approach early adopters at the Bridge Maintenance Department at FREMA and private companies AEC and Julius Berger with pilot project offers for their most at-risk structures. We will then convert these pilot programs to commercial deployments and then approach their competitors or counterparts at different regions showing our successful demonstration. I believe I'm the right person to execute this because I have now gained several years in developing monitoring solutions for civil infrastructure throughout my PhD. And while currently I'm the only one in the team, I'm open to partners to complement my skill sets. Thank you.
Well done on your presentation. It seems like a really interesting problem to solve, and something that could make a large impact. Could you tell me a little bit about when you create these off-the-shelf components, like why hasn't somebody else done that before? Are they good enough to really make the difference?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, there's definitely, I guess, the kind of trade-off when you think of cost and quality. And so that's one issue. But recently, with the advances of even things like Arduino have much more powerful processing power these days, we can still get quality measurements good enough But there would be the trade-off. For example, we might not be able to get as high resolution measurements as like this current guy too. So we're not be able to localize exactly this is the place where the damage is, or we'll still be able to tell you the global condition of the structure. Like this bridge is good, this bridge is good. And then I can complement like existing inspection processes.
Given the many, many different types of bridges, and many different types of materials used in them, can you really have one universal sensor to provide usable data on all these different types of structures? For example, concrete versus steel, cable stay versus other methodologies. Is there really one widget that can do all of those?
Well, eventually it wouldn't just be one. So it would have to be customizable in terms of like you said, different types of structure and things like that. But for a start, generally vibration data gives quite rich information on the condition of structures in general, whether it's steel, concrete, or whatever. And so we plan to start with that. But obviously in the future, we'll try to develop more sophisticated and customized solutions for different types of bridges.
I guess my question is, who's your customer? Is it a governmental agency? Is it private? Is it insurance companies?
Yeah, so for the start, in target market in Nigeria, it's the government, both at federal and state level. They're in charge of managing the bridges, they own the bridges. So those are like the target customers. But in the future, as we expand, we plan to also have like private building owners and other infrastructure owners as well.
I have two questions. First of all, how do you calculate the market size? And second, is the technology that you built something proprietary or is it openly available? You're just able to produce it at a lower cost?
For the market size, we base that on the number of bridges in Nigeria and then multiplying for like the other countries. So like multiply that by a factor of the number of countries in Africa and developing countries. In terms of the technology, well, some of it would have to be like proprietary knowledge because in terms of like making it low cost, it's kind of it's our design, and so we could make that proprietary. But definitely there are like open source things. For example, if you're using an Arduino, that's open source. Or how we use it, then that's proprietary. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
You spoke a lot about the hardware aspects of this. However, obviously this will be producing data. Is that part of your plan for monetization as well? Is there a dashboard involved? How are you going to help people who may not even understand how to interpret the data that your device is delivering understand it?
Yeah, so it's going to be, there will be like a dashboard and we'll have kind of a role-based system. So for example, for engineers who have like more technical information, we can give like more technical info on the dashboard and they could have access to the raw data and do the analysis and stuff. Or just for like asset managers or facility owners, it would just be a high-level alert. Maybe you just see like the status of your bridge, like something very short and just tell me the condition. Like this is in good condition, this needs to be checked. So something short and specific, but not technical for those types of people. Thank you.
All right, so our next company is going to be field prepped by Launchpad.
Hello, my name is Lakshay Kalra, and I'm a sophomore in computer engineering with a business minor. Today I'm going to be presenting to you meal prep made by college students for college students. Our company's purpose is to aid college students and help them meal plan while also working to reduce food waste in college towns and other areas. So, what is the current problem? Currently, college students are inexperienced in meal planning. I've personally experienced this myself. It's tough being a new college student figuring out grocery shopping, cooking, cleaning, planning. It's tough. Having college students also have a tough time finding long blocks every single day to actually cook, meal prep, cook, clean. It's not easy. There's no meal planning app currently tuned towards college students. And if 40% of food waste comes from household food waste, including college towns, where people just mix up ingredients. So what are we going to do about it? First, we're going to have a solution that targets helping college students meal prep, automate the delivery of grocery, and help them find the meals that they want to eat. Two, we're going to be able to help them in multiple ways by reducing the long blocks and breaking it up into like, hey, you can meal prep across the whole week today, and then you only have to do this much on every other day. So we're taking down blocks. Three, we're going to have college-specific features. That's how we're tuning it to college students to make them attracted to it. And four, we're going to optimize the meal suggestions so that we're using similar ingredients in all of our meals. We'll talk about more of this when we get deeper into the solution. Next, let's talk about why now. Now more than ever, college students are more interested in working on software-based solutions to actually be able to solve their problems, such as apps, websites, AI. It's also a founder-fit market. I've personally experienced these struggles, and I'm sure many of my peers and friends have as well. And three, I have access to the target market right now. Being in a college town is the perfect time to start something for college students. Next, what is the market? This is the number of college students in the market. So nationwide, we're looking at 5.45 million students who live abroad. In the SOM, we're looking at 4.08 million. This is done through a research study of college students that want to cook, beginning to cook, and expressed interest in cooking in college towns. And the last one is our obtainable market. We're looking to capture about 40% of the market, looking at 1.62 nationwide and about 9,000 students on campus. Next, let's look at our competitors. We have a couple of different competitors, but we are the only one that deliver on multiple platforms. We help college students meal prep, and we're specifically tuned to reducing food waste. So what is meal prep? Meal prep is a solution platform. It's an app that allows college students to save meals and have all the ingredients delivered to their doorstep. Let's look at a user flow for this. So first, you're going to search your recipes. We'll be able to suggest additional recipes based on what you choose that use similar ingredients. That way you're able to reduce food waste and actually save money by using multiple recipes with the same ingredients. You're going to add it to calendar. You're going to create that meal plan. Choose days you're interested in meal planning. We'll create a grocery list. You'll be able to order that grocery list off of your preferred platform, which will be fully integrated within the app, and then we'll give you the instructions for meal prep, and you'll have a nice homemade meal by the end of it. Let's look at each thing in specific. Adding a recipe, it basically you add a recipe, it calls us, we suggest more recipes, and then our most important thing is we're creating a cohesive meal plan throughout the week. That way, it's not like any other platform where it's just meal by meal. Here, we're able to combine it throughout the week. Next, our delivery mechanisms, we're able to deliver off of multiple platforms, deliver their grocery list, and we're using Instacart, Amazon Fresh, Business Marketing Perfect Foods. The last two use secondhand harvest materials. That way, we're also working to reduce food waste as a goal. Next, we're looking towards our product summary. Let's look at the MVP in specific. We want to be able to have custom recipes, suggest more recipes, be able to meal prep in blocks, and the grocery list. These are most important features that we believe will be paid for. Our roadmap, specific things to note here is we plan to finish our MVP by January, working to join COSAD this following semester, where we'll work with mentors to actually iterate, expand, and be able to launch completely with all of our premium features by the next school year. We're a business model, if you can guess, we're a freemium business model. For the free version, we're going to take 1.5% off of any automated deliveries coming from our platform. For the premium model, we have two versions, $15 for the premium with Instacart subscription, and then $9.99 if you're looking for anything else without the Instacart, so a different platform. We expect 35% of our users to upgrade. We've calculated these numbers based on the whole serviceable obtainable market. I'm a little bit optimistic, but it's based on the numbers. So 45,000 per month in the UIUC, where we initially launched at 8 million in the US. We're looking for developers. We're looking for business liaisons. Please contact me. I'll take any questions at this time. Thank you.
You went through this a little bit quickly, so sorry for missing it, but can you tell me a little bit more about the features that you think are going to drive monetization, and profits.
So I'm gonna go back to that. So these are the things, features. I apologize for going a little bit quickly. We're on a time crunch here. So we have the custom recipes and the grocery list. The grocery list is where we expect most of our monetization coming from. By automating the delivery, we're able to take a percentage off of how much they order from local places. So that's our significant monetization, and then we expect premium features to be big because a lot of our features will be in the premium section as we expand, such as like college-specific explore pages and stuff like that.
Are students, have you spoken to students, are they willing to pay 1.5% extra on their groceries? And how big of a business do you foresee this to be in the next 5 years?
Yeah, so to your first question, yes, I've spoken to students and my peers who are interested in products like this. So I initially started talking to them about 2 to 2.5%, and a lot of them seemed interested in that. And I moved down to 1.5% because I do want more people to download it and target. Like I want to target food waste especially, so it's more a social platform to create a social impact. So people are interested, and then in the next 5 years, I expect it to be quite big. We're going to expand beyond college students. So in the next 5 years, I want to expand to young professionals, keeping the traction going that as college students graduate, we'll be able to keep them as customers as they go into their jobs and experience similar problems. But starting with the niche college students will help me actually hone down on the idea and create a good product right now.
I have some experience with other similar apps. You may, as a suggestion, you may want to consider adding a health and fitness sort of perspective to your offering as well.
I'd definitely consider that into the premium features. Thank you.
So you talk about thousands of available recipes. Most recipes from anybody's cookbook or any foodie website, a lot of them are copyrighted. How are you going to avoid not getting sued by cookbook authors, etc.? And how are you going to screen the recipes for the average level of equipment in the student's kitchen?
Okay, yes. So as part of that question, one, if we ever need to license recipes from a specific cookbook or anything, we'll pay them up front. But we're planning on getting thousands of recipes off of a bunch of open source APIs. I have these APIs already. There's one called Spinacular. There's a bunch of other databases. And they're very helpful in the sense that they tell you exactly what ingredients need to be used and what equipment you need. So we can easily scan it for the available equipment. And then second, we can also add, we have a feature for custom recipes where users can add like, hey, I want to make pasta. I don't need a fancy pasta. I just need pasta and I need a can of tomato sauce. We can add those custom recipes that they can use anytime, which makes it easier for college students. Their parents can add it, they can add it, depending on how the dynamic works.
Yeah, I think you've identified an area that maybe people struggle with, right? It's meal prep. But are you sure that you've identified the right solution? And let me ask this in a certain way. So, like, if I go into ChatGPT right now, I can say, here's what I want to eat. Here's my what I have in my kitchen. Suggest a meal. And there's actually a professor on campus here that's looking at taste profiles and creating specific large language model specifically for taste profiles. And so, but just what you can get from ChatGPT is probably like good enough for a lot of people. So tell me more about why you think this specific solution is going to solve the meal prep problem, and maybe what other solutions could solve that problem.
Of course. So I definitely do agree that there's a lot of competition with AI models doing similar things. I actually do use an AI model to do a lot of this, not ChatGPT on my own. But what we do beyond that is how we're really going to keep students and keep the traction to get people to meal plan, delivering goods right to the doorstep. That's a huge thing that if you have to meal plan separately and then you have to, input all the ingredients, like, maybe I'm getting too many ingredients. Let me go back and new meal plan with this and then get this. Is that available? Like, is the bread available at my local county market or local stores? I'm not sure. ChatGPT and other AI models won't know that, and they won't know how to do it. Training to specific students takes a lot of time, a lot of model, and a lot of expenses, and it's very expensive to do that. So having a more general solution like this is a lot more keen to college students across not just UIUC, but across nationwide. where we're able to see the stores local to them, able to help them come up with meal plans and solutions with items that they actually are able to get at a cost. So it's a lot better for that case. And then we're also helping them budget, but that's a more feature that I'm going to develop after the MVP.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So first half of our Launchpad is over. Let's give a bit of an applause to all the companies that have presented so far. Now, I really want to welcome one of our most favorite professors, Lars Corpus, who's also an academic director at iVenture, but also, as I said, a wonderful professor and a great entrepreneur.
Thank you, Atalay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to keep it very short. I know we're a little bit over time, so I think I'm going to try to get that back on schedule. One of my jobs is actually expanding the ecosystem. A lot of what we're trying to do, I'm going to skip actually a lot of the slides. All right. I did too many of those, but okay, academic director, who knows here from the students, who knows what the iVenture Accelerator is? I mean, if you can raise your hand. All right, quite a few now. So pretty much we have one of the premier student accelerators in the nation here. We think at the University of Illinois. It's a program, it runs over the summer, over 10 weeks. We give all the companies that actually make it into the iVenture. It's a pretty competitive process. You have to apply, but we give them $10,000. We don't get anything in return. We also give them money for expenses over the summer. We connect them to the ecosystem. We accelerate a lot of the startups. I've known quite a few of the startups that we had in the past cohort. We're on year number 10. We had quite a few actually from last year's Launchpad who made it into the iVenture. In addition, what we're changing a little bit is we're trying to complement, the iVenture experience over the summer with a couple of seminar courses. One is the pre-iVenture Accelerator in the spring. It's 463. I'm going to be the instructor. It's actually, if you have an idea and already have a team, and some of you who have presented here and are interested in getting into the iVenture, please send me an email. I'm going to require some information, but 3 months, it's not guaranteed that they're going to make it into iVenture, but we get teams ready to participate in a high impact accelerator. So again, if you already have a team, you're interested in participating, please send me an email. You're going to need permission. The course is Business Administration 463. It's the iVenture seminar. It's open to all students from all departments and at all levels. So both undergraduate, master's, PhD students are welcome to apply as teams. So please, again, you can register directly, but send me an email. Also, for students who don't have a team right now, but are looking for the basic skills, there's a new course, Introduction to Entrepreneurship, that is going to be given this spring and pretty much in all semesters. Again, open not only at business schools, engineering schools, but pretty much open to all students, undergraduate students on campus. So teaching the fundamentals of entrepreneurship to pretty much guide you through the journey to get the foundational skills that we need, not only to launch your own startup while you're here, but pretty much manage innovation as you go out and work in your professional life. So with that, thank you again. I think it's a great event. I've been following this event now for the last 2 years that I'm on campus. A lot of our cool ideas and startups started right here. So thank you very much for hosting me.
Awesome. So we're going to take a break till 7:10 to continue the second half of the event. If you guys want to stretch, grab some pizza. We have pizza for everybody in this room right back here. Grab some slices, and we will see you all back at 7:10.
You're injured. Bro, you just pitching. Wait, is it a fire thing? So what you? Yeah, like, that's smart. Yeah, that is really smart. Yeah, that's very good. Bro, we need to go to the gym. Wait, I went to see. What? Oh shit, you're ready. I've been tired. I've really been home. Like, I know. I don't know where I was tired. It's sick. Bro, I didn't, because I remember I really saw you Sunday. I don't know when you were meeting. I was really like being awkward as fuck out the window. People were like looking at me. When are you? I just thought about that. Bro, you're. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think you're pretty sure you're bad. I have a meeting. That was just like. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Boy, it's not room for that. It's just like we're using a room for it. Are you pasting? Wait, I don't want to do that number. You did so good. Killed it. Yeah, that's fine. Are you also reading? I will. Why are you right over there? Not for you. It's just oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I have like half the thing. No, my friend.
had Thanksgiving. Well, we were gonna finish. No, we wanted it so bad. I was the whole thing, but now I'm doing it tomorrow morning. So we're like, but it's been so fun. It's fire. Life's cake.
It's like an idea right now, but we're trying to make it happen.
Yeah. No, she didn't have to go over.
Playlisting is like eating. The other fish enough, like okay, playlisting comes up by the last year.
What are you up to?
Maybe money.
Just go like
That's a thing.
But then who gonna go up?
Bro's going through it. Oh, you saying like,
Oh, you're saying it's good. Oh, yeah. You should keep
like you can, but like for your purpose, I just make it like.
Fine. I will be back in like 30 minutes, and then we can go to conference.
I'm just saying, I have to get a little bit harder.
Where?
No, you, I don't know where you're going. Yeah, so like, just start with us each day.
They were like, why didn't you pitch? And I'm like, man, like what I did, we pitch all 7 of them.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I got hella ideas right now. And it's like every single time you talk to someone, you come up with like another version of our idea. And it's like, the more we talk, like the more we're getting better at it, but we just keep it up. Which is good.
That's a really good problem.
Which is good, because obviously that means our first idea wasn't as good, and there's like more that we can do.
Because a lot of ideas can just build off the other idea.
Is that kind of what you did, or you
Yeah.
just?
Like I just had something, I don't know.
I just told them how like I just told them how through playlisting like helping underground artists. That's what I said. But yeah. And like how like
That blows up. Wait, no.
there are so many underground artists, and there's people that playlist too. So if you wanted to be,
That's what helped me like.
yeah, just yeah. So it's like we have one testimonial, and I like we track the streams for all of our clients, so like, we know like how much everyone's getting.
You tell like, or do you have to give it?
He gets good information. He has like an app as a
So you
Spotify.
can see that like our songs are on that playlist and the taking playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the people up there is getting.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Not really. We're just.
I mean, that should be a thing.
Yeah, we're just
Like certain social media people on certain space, like you have your own presence.
yeah, but like not every influencer is like playlisting.
No, I agree. But like, they
I think a common thing.
Well, someone that's got the music industry, I feel like wouldn't know.
I've never, that's like, not as common.
Yeah, it's not as common. But I guess like artists know about it.
So did you figure out this problem because you were having it, or is it just like?
I figured out this problem because like one of the TikToks I made like about the days like blew up, and then through that artists were like DMing me on Instagram, and that's how I found out it was a thing. Because they would ask me what my rate is. I'll be like, I went up to Anthony, I was like, what's my rate? Like I literally, do you guys know Reach? Well, you might know. Yeah, so I literally that one day I got my DM, like my first DM. Reach was at our apartment. I was like, Reach, and he like makes music and like does this, and he's like, yeah, I pay for the same thing. So he like told me like what to set my rate as, and then I was like playing around with my rate for so long, like it was so bad. Like I charged some people really high, really less, like doing that, and then Solar over the summer, like
Bro, why don't you like sit in that? That's sick. Talk about your entrepreneurial experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, I want to do a passion talk on content creation so bad.
You should.
But I literally can stand here and talk about it for five
Wait, that's what I'm saying.
Oh wait, I know. Yeah. And like, yeah. Yeah, wait, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, nice to see you pitch around. Thank you. That's really cool.
Bye, have a good break.
Nice to meet you. I'm glad you Yeah.
He's a new member in an actress.
You like acting so far? I just want to like, you like it? It's fun.
And the people are like awesome.
Except for you. Like,
Okay. Oh, you would even beer if it wasn't like because we talked.
She was one of the main reasons I applied in the beginning. Oh, bro. I was like really on the edge, and then I came to. Ayush convinced me to come to Infinite, and then she convinced me
To actually apply. Yeah, but I love it. It's actually like the best. Like I just feel like it's such a collaborative community. Like everyone's just like helping each other out, but you're also like doing so much out there. Everyone is so diverse. Diverse majors, backgrounds, everything.
Yeah, everyone's doing everything. Like, I know, people. So what she said, like, I would do want to do it, but it's also a lot of time, right? Like first semester. Yeah, see?
Yeah, even on LT. Are you doing LT? Like even my position is like a decent with a lot of like, I'm making it sound. So like just LT in general. Yeah, how do you not know this?
I think you're on a team.
Yeah, like I'm on like 2 teams. Like leading the marketing for 2 teams. Yeah, I'm on product. Yeah, and Ingrid. Yeah, they're both projects. I'm on. So every media liaison is 2 projects. So those are my 2 projects. Yeah, and then exec just seems like shit ton of work. Shit. I mean, I feel like he was part of the Monarch photo shoot. Him and Solar. Him and Solar are my models. That's so funny because I needed like 2 guy models.
We look, we cooked it up though.
You guys cooked it up, and the photos were really good.
Yeah. I craved this already.
You're already an actor. What? For what? What's your passion?
It's ag tech solution. We're like helping farmers achieve like USD like there's farmers and we can actually make sure it's right. So it's such a struggle. People that want this. I don't think this water gas is it's a good project. It's like 4 people on the team.
Yeah, so you're putting like teams of 4 and you have to like come up with sort of ideas and
This is just for new members.
yeah, and then the actual, so these are like you're pitching these like new ideas to get onto the portfolio, and then the actual projects that are on the portfolio have anywhere from like 6 to like 12. Are you on frame right now? You guys are they're selling their products for my son. It's like posters, cutting boards.
Oh, it's like that. We're the only coasters in real life. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Or actually my circle.
You would have to do that?
Yeah. It sounds like the thing. Because like, I guess most of these people are buying from there, right?
Yeah. They just started to do that yesterday.
Oh, very, very basic. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm working with like a
They're 100% and they just from like previous so we just keep upscale. So upcycle the wood and turn it into a new product, and then we're able to sell our customers. It's also introduced to so does that money go to inactive or does that money go to
it goes to the project. And the project has like, yeah, it's like its own company. Oh, well, yeah, 100%. I mean, we're like, I love your customers too. Like you need like that platform. So that's why I think I like it a lot. It's like it's like you're supposed to have like that balance. But yeah. Oh no, it's not. We were talking about this LT. Yeah, I mean that's like a bit of flaw in practice for everyone, but it's just something that you can't like control because for students like graduate abroad, it's like you can't just be like, oh, you're doing camping for the next 3 years. That's not what it works. And like being able to like go between projects also gives more experience and gives other people's opportunities to get leadership. Otherwise, the whole club would just be like LT for 3 years and like. So it sucks, and like that's why I was talking about. Yeah, 100%. It does. And this is what I'm talking about too. It's like there needs to be a way, but it's just they haven't been able to find a way. Yeah, but I agree. I think everyone needs to. We're up to now. One of our friends. Yeah.
I just walked in and get this.
I mean, you got the interview. Wait, that's honestly like 80% of the set.
We're going to get back started with our pitches, continuing. So if you guys want to grab your seat, we can get started again.
But yeah, we totally should. And after breaking up, like, so job.
I'm not.
Oh yeah, but you have to. Well, this one you should.
You really want to take a seat.
That's crazy.
Awesome, and we are good to go.
Awesome. So let's get into the second part of our Launchpad. The first topic that we'll present will be Vice, and the CEO, the co-founder, will be Keshav Chuta.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Keshav Trika. I'm here to present to you today WISE, your partner in energy intelligence. So I'm Keshav Trika. I'm a CS plus Econ major, and my partner Tarun is a data science major here at the University of Illinois. Let's jump right into the problem. So currently, energy inefficiency, businesses are wasting around 30% of their energy every year. This is contributing around $100 billion of energy use wasted every single year for companies. Not only does this increase their costs, this also increases the amount of carbon dioxide that's released into the atmosphere every single year. Numerous small businesses to medium-sized businesses like grocery stores, bars, other kinds of things don't necessarily have the right tools to effectively monitor their energy usage, which is why WISE comes into play. As you see on the graphic on the right, more and more energy has been poured into energy efficiency programs, except the amount of energy that's being saved has plateaued and even declined in recent years. So this is where WISE comes in. WISE is an end-to-end platform that uses machine learning and AI to provide insights into your data usage. We have three key main functionalities. The first is real-time monitoring. WISE will use your data in order to understand and predict energy usage and provide actionable insights on how to optimize that data usage. Second, we have AI-driven optimization, which means we'll combine different data sources like weather data, occupancy data, as well as historical energy use to provide more insight into how you can be more efficient with your data usage. Finally, we have predictive maintenance, where our models will identify signals and bottlenecks in your energy data to understand things like to prevent the cost of repair or downtime in your system. So why is this valuable? We believe that we are not only able to help clients save energy and reduce their costs, but we can also help them reach their sustainability goals. This is also a flexible and scalable product using IoT
and AI, which can be leveraged to small to medium to large enterprise businesses. So looking at our business model, this is kind of a unique one where we hope to envision using a recovered revenue model. Basically what that means is that we don't make money unless you save money. We want to be able to save enough money to still take a 10 to 15% cut of energy savings from our clients to be profitable. So it's really flexible and scalable based on the individual client, as we can change the different rates based on how big the facility is. Moving on to our quick product overview and some key wireframes that we have created. First, we have a homepage where users can see things like their weekly energy usage, as well as progress towards goals regarding sustainability. Second, if they want more in-depth view into certain key metrics, they have an analytics dashboard which is customizable to each user. Third, we have a social platform, which is what we envision the future of Wise to be. We want to create a network of companies competing in greener standards competitions that is open to the public. We want this to help them increase their brand image, as well as hold them accountable towards their sustainability metrics. Finally, we have EcoChat, which is a generative AI chatbot that uses the data from the IoT sensors in order to provide recommendations and optimizations for the end user. Next, let's take a quick look at our market opportunity. Our total addressable market of energy management platforms is around $40 billion in the entire world. If we look at the United States and North America specifically, this is around $20 billion. Wise wants to be specific to the Champaign-Urbana area and wants to focus on small and medium-sized businesses, which is why our SOM is $10 million. So why now? We see three key market trends that Wise can leverage in order to become a competitor in the market. First, we see rising energy costs globally. More and more energy is being used around the world, and prices are going up. So Wise is positioned well to help clients save money and reduce their operational costs. Secondly, we see more and more regulatory pressure to be more sustainable and reduce carbon dioxide emissions around the world. So we are able to help companies understand their energy usage as well as reach these goals. Finally, we see the widespread adoption of IoT and AI. Now more than ever, people and companies are using AI in their enterprise systems as well as IoT devices. We believe that energy should be something that's looked at when utilizing these systems. Now let's take a quick look at our competitive analysis. First, we have traditional service providers, which are energy companies that provide the utility. They're not in the businesses of saving you money, as they drive a profit from more energy use. Second, we have large-scale solutions from companies like Siemens, Honeywell, Schneider Electric. These systems are very in-depth and focused on large facilities, like data centers, airports, etc. These are not optimized for the small and medium-sized market. And that's where Wise comes in. We really want to focus on small and medium-sized businesses and leveraging our own IoT sensors in order to provide value on saving energy for these smaller companies. Next, we have our quick timeline. So we're obviously still in our ideation phases as well as our customer discovery phase, but we've been also creating our website and key wireframes as well as our basic AI functionality. However, we've only been looking at historical data and we have not yet tried to create future references in terms of recommendations. With the proper funding and more people on our team, we can build our end-to-end application as well as create our brand. This will help us do more user testing and quality assurance, and hopefully in the next 6 to 9 months we can launch Wise. Thank you very much, and I hope you see how Wise can have a positive impact on the sustainability market today. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I think you've identified an area with building education that's a growing market, and definitely it's an area where there's opportunity in the future. Could you tell me a little bit more about how you would integrate in with existing technologies versus maybe a retrofit?
Sure. So one of the kind of avenues we had explored was building our own IoT sensors and being able to withdraw the data specifically from that. But one of the main challenges that we do see in our near future is kind of getting the data specifically from energy companies Obviously, they value their data very much, and we need to be able to somehow harness that. So it's definitely a future consideration that we have to utilize smart platforms that already exist and smart devices, except we still need to figure out how we can retrieve that data from these bigger utility providers.
Do you have a sense of how much of energy efficiency can come from optimizing usage of existing systems versus how much needs to be generated from building improvements, more insulation, newer air conditioners, more efficient furnaces for heating?
Sure. So from our preliminary research, we found for the part of energy that around 30% of energy is not effectively allocated or utilized. However, we've not necessarily found how other things like insulation can impact that. So that's definitely a key point I'll have to keep researching.
He makes a good point. I think you can save more energy by improving the insulation sort of aspect of the building structure. When you look at electricity usage, time of day, etc., you're basically just shifting usage. You're not necessarily using less sometimes. And at the end of the day, if you do those calculations, I think what's more meaningful is how much absolute dollars you save.
Can you throw some more light on the overall process that the customer implementation process that you will go through?
Sure. So, additionally to the recovery revenue model, if we end up actually building out our own IoT devices, it would start with some sort of installation fee. So we go in and install these IoT devices, and then from that we can start harnessing the data to our platform as well, and then start creating a recommendation. So theoretically, it should be a simple process of us going out, installing these IoT devices on our customer site, and linking it to our cloud-based platform.
Thank you for the presentation. It's unclear to me who your customer is here. Commercial real estate is a highly complex ecosystem. There's, landlords, property managers. Most businesses are, dependent on their lease type. If they are, paying their energy bills, it's not the same as a residential situation. So can you explain how you cut through all that noise and actually engage a customer?
Sure, that's another great point that you bring up. For us, it would have to be more people who obviously own their buildings and can create modifications and things like the infrastructure of that place. So obviously many small businesses don't own their land their building. So that's definitely something we have to consider. But I think it's also important to note that this can be applied to the everyday consumer eventually. So we kind of theoretically wanted to be more on the small business side, and then also have the consumer aspect of it for the everyday user as well. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. So our next company will be Electrovolt, and now presented by Randy.
Project eFold is a foldable, retracting electric longboard that you can bring anywhere and fit in almost anywhere, including your bag. Now I'm Aaron, and I'm an electrical engineer, and this handsome guy sitting in the front row is my co-founder, Rimsey. But enough about me. So here's Bob. Bob is a college student, and Bob needs to get to his chem class. And Bob takes only 5 minutes to get to his chem class. Well, chem class is all sunshine and rainbows until he walks out, and all he sees is one singular bicycle tire. So Bob is completely surprised, and he looks something like this. Well, how unfortunate, right? But unfortunately, Bob is one of the 2 million people who get their bikes stolen every year. That's around one bike theft every 30 seconds. Now, Bob thinks, oh, I can just catch the bus to get to my math lecture, right? So he looks on Google Maps, and it only takes him 7 minutes to get to his math class. So the bus comes, and Unfortunately, Bob has already been waiting for 15 minutes. So Bob goes to his math lecture, and now he has to go to his discussion section. But fortunately for Bob, or unfortunately for his TA, their discussion section is actually canceled because the TA could not even find a parking spot himself. So with cars and parking, you have to pay. It's a difficulty, it's a hassle, and in urban areas where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of congestion, people are losing an average of $1,762 every year for just sitting 101 hours in traffic. That's about like 2 new iPhone 16s. Well, after talking to over 50 UIUC students, Bob and Bob's TA aren't the only ones experiencing these issues. Now, the solution is eFold. eFold is a expanding folding electrical skateboard, longboard that can easily fit in anywhere, and the clever mechanism uses a lock design that can be conveniently stepped on to cause the skateboard to rise, and it also uses gravity to its advantage to retract the board and also fold automatically into one very convenient, very compact product that can fit directly inside your backpack. We're also planning to make a bag attachment that attaches to your school bag that can fit this product inside. Now, the expanded size is around 3 times the size of its compacted size. And in the foldable electric skateboard market, there's only around 2 competitors right now, and the main flaw that they both have is that all of the pressure from the rider is being put directly on the hinge. So it's prone to being worn down, and to compensate for this less well-designed mechanism, they're using these expensive, durable materials to create their product. And we intend to use a better mechanism that puts all of the load on a rod instead of the hinge, which makes it less expensive for the consumer because we don't have to purchase special materials to make this super strong. And we also intend to optimize the power by using a stronger form of electric motor and also place our motors at the back of the board, because essentially pushing something is easier than pulling something. Whereas the Linky skateboard is $1,000 and they put their motors in the front, which makes it very inefficient since pulling something is way harder than pushing something in simple terms. And with the new design mechanism, we are able to make our skateboard relatively larger than the other two, and also makes it more stable and easy to learn and easy to use. Now, the electric skateboard market is around $2 billion, and the way we calculated the 7.4 million was by taking 2% of the population from UIUC and Chicago only, and multiplying that by our product price, which was around $500. Now, to get our prototypes to consumers, we intend to distribute our prototypes to beta testers that consist of not only just daily commuters, but also I met this group of electric skateboarders who are able to give me more technical feedback on my product, and we're able to create something that's more attuned to both the average skater and also someone who e-skates. And we intend to expand this project and not limit it to just the campus. So our product is intended to also be used in the city where traffic is a large issue, and as you can see, people lose a lot of money from that. So we intend to also expand our project across the world in the cities and not limit it to just a campus. If you guys have any questions about this project, feel free to email me and contact me anytime.
Can you address how much it will cost you to acquire a customer?
So you're asking how much it costs to acquire?
Yeah, I don't know that you've addressed, marketing or how you will actually get customers for your product.
So that's a good question. So we're intentionally using the college campus as a starting test bed for our project, and we're initially introducing this product to students, which we then will contact some social media influencers who are also students, and also eventually expand past students into cities. And with the group of e-skaters that I talked about before while I was talking to people on campus about their transportation hassles, they also go to Chicago electric skating meetups where there are other people who are not actually students, and we plan to introduce the product that form directly to the customers, as well as increase the exposure on social media, since the events in Chicago are often spread around social media. And we can also introduce our product that way, since a lot of the e-skaters in Chicago are willing to try out something like this.
I think it's a great problem to solve. How heavy is the product as compared to your competitors? And where are you in the product development journey?
So our product is more convenient in the way that existing electric longboards and skateboards, they're a big hassle to also store. Like if you're going to the gym, it's very hard to carry this huge electric longboard around with you. And I see people who are eating also, like they have their longboard laying on the table, and it's just such a hassle to bring it around. And the other big point is that it's very hard to steal a skateboard that you're always with. And in that case, it's better than a bike. And you said something about my journey.
My two questions were how heavy is the product as compared to your competitors? And second was where are you in the product development journey?
So right now, we have not created a physical prototype. We have a CADed design, but we estimate it to be around 5 kilograms, around somewhere below 10 tons.
Have you thought of how easy it would be for someone to try to replicate or copy a similar design?
So our mechanism is different in a way that it's using this clever combination of a lock mechanism along with the rod design. So this sliding mechanism, after studying the existing engines, there has been no discussion of using this kind of sliding mechanism. And essentially, the clever design utilizes gravity to essentially make it almost fully automatic when you step on it. And it's hard to replicate because the sliding mechanism is something that's special to our design in the way that it also combines the sliding with the locking mechanism. And this animation up here is not a detailed version of our real mechanism, which also requires more analysis on how we intend to make the sliding mechanism smooth enough to automatically retract from just a force of work.
You focus on college students, naturally you're a college student. But have you thought about other groups or types of people who might be interested?
Yes, so we intend to make this not only just a commuter board, but imagine how nice it would be to go on a vacation and be able to hop on the electric longboard and just feel the adventure. When you go to maybe a beach or going to a trail where you can really customize your experience and really immerse yourself in not just where you're walking, but travel really fast and really feel the environment. And also as before, the motor mechanism that we're using allows real customizability, which we intend to provide to customers to adapt to their terrain in the area that they're living. So we can actually swap the wheels out for these alternate wheels, which can adapt to people who are willing to explore areas.
Thank you for your presentation. I guess I just have a question maybe similar, just in terms of your feasibility of the design. So what major roadblocks do you see there being to actually creating the prototypes?
Can you repeat the last one?
What major roadblocks do you see to creating the prototype?
What
major roadblocks do you have to creating a prototype?
What were the roadblocks to creating a prototype?
Yeah, in order to create a prototype, what do you need?
Oh, what do I need? So essentially right now, the components need to be manufactured, and these manufacturing costs to create the prototype are a part of the budget that we use. And essentially our main focus is on the mechanism of the board. We're initially going to start with these conversion kits, which essentially means that we have a board that you can attach your electric wheels to and your battery to create something that's electric. So our initial prototype will not have the electrical parts, but rather we need to purchase separate electrical parts that we can assemble onto our initial prototype to test the mechanism.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Awesome. Now we'll hear from Pavrindra Vilagada from their company, Warner.
Hi everyone, my name is Pavitra and I'd like to take you on a trip to Voyager now.
all been there. Plans get made, travel plans get made, but they never make it out of the group chat. There's always that one person that has to take care of everything, so either from booking to coordinating flights, looking through lots of group chat texts to find and make everyone happy. However, there are other platforms that they use that don't really facilitate coordination, as well as make confusion and leave someone behind at one point. But our solution, Void Journal, is a one-stop platform to make this travel booking seamless. The 3 steps for Void Journal is that you will first have an invite link for you and your friends to go into the platform. Then you will have to pick a destination and a date that will then we'll populate some suggested ideas and like show up suggested dates and destinations you can go to. And then your friends and yourself can upvote and downvote on these suggestions. This is crucial since everyone has a say now and not one person is taking lead. And payment is integrated right into the platform, so there is no hassle for expense management. In 2030, it is projected that 30% of the global travel market is going to be Gen Z. So that's why my target market are these Gen Z travelers, because 89% of Gen Z right now think traveling as a financial priority, as well as there's 1.5 trillion people in the global travel market at the moment. So why Void Journal? Void Journal turns the stress of planning into the joy of experiencing. We have seamless travel planning that will take the burden off of the one person that has to handle everything, as well as having the experience with personalized to yourself, as well as having the experience personalized to yourself, as well as having you and your friends go on trips together without any hassle and planning that is burdening throughout the way. So our director, as I've talked to over 100 college students on campus at the moment and see what they actually use for travel planning, I've realized that they have used Google Slides, Google Suite, Expedia, Booking.com, and group chats, but all of these, they have said that the #1 problem that they have had is visibility and transparency. No one will know if when the Google Doc has yet gotten updated. Not everyone is on the same page, as well as Expedia and Booking.com is an individual travel booking site, so it's not like one person doing everything, and there's no collaborative features on them. So our business model is going to be an affiliate marketing strategy that will turn into a direct partnership in the future. And since our plan is group traveling and it has more than like 4+ people, it would have a bigger basket size. So this makes our business model the most optimal. So this is our landing page at the moment. So please join the waitlist if you want an update to our beta version. And this is our QR code to get to the waiting list. And thank you for listening. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
I think it's a very interesting idea, especially coming from your perspective and input that it seems like you might have had. As I think about this industry, I don't know if I've seen something that takes social travel the same way. So congratulations for that. The question I have for you is, as you're thinking about pulling all these things together, what would be your minimum viable product that you need to create in order to create your initial package?
So we're actually started on our prototype already. So we would have the just traveling with some flights and accommodations booked, so everyone they can bid both at the same time. So it'll just be those 2 things at first. So that after that, we're ready to go and get into the market.
So the travel industry is known for having unbelievably bad information systems and legacy systems. Lots of stuff written in Fortran and things. New generation don't even know what they are. So given the complication, how do you tend to tackle the technical tasks of stringing together all these legacy systems to present all the data options?
So actually what we're trying to do is already been done by Expedia and having, because they use a like GDS system, global distribution system as well. So it's like already been done by them. So everything that we're using is information that the bigger market, they're already using them. So like the technology thing, technological things, so we're only adding the collaboration aspect is what we're getting.
So who is your competition and how will you be able to stay ahead of them in terms of innovating?
So our competition is definitely like a blank group chat text being like, oh, let's go here on this day and let's do that, or a Google Doc of all the itinerary written down. But our app is like, it's very like easy to use, and anyone wants to contribute can use it. So even if you're the person that doesn't really want to contribute or doesn't really have the time, it is very easy to go in and exactly know what's there, and it's a quick and easy process.
Why haven't the larger players like Expedia already tried to integrate something like this?
I would think it's because they're focusing on the individual bookings more and having like other features that go out to either itineraries or like trips and like activities and things like that they could also book at the moment. But so that's why we're doing collaborative travel bookings at the moment.
Affiliate marketing is a notoriously fickle way to essentially make money. How did you estimate how many customers you would need to get to, essentially be sustainable from a revenue perspective? Is the first part of my question. And also, I'm just curious how you think that you will transition from affiliate marketing to direct partnerships. That's pretty rare.
So affiliate marketing, it is very easy to have an affiliate market, as I have had like people have become like Amazon affiliates just by clicking the button. So it is very easy to get these people and to get customers once they start using it, and then have it transition into partnerships. As if it gets huge and we're the platform that is like the hot topic at the moment using it, people like Expedia are going to partner up with us because that our platform is the way to go to their services. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. So the next one is going to be Real Math AI by the founder, Francis Master.
Hi everyone, my name is Anshi. I make this startup Real Math AI with my partner RSVP. So has anyone ever felt like what they're learning in school, they can't really apply it to what they have in real life situations? Like you might see questions like someone bought 500 apples, or a random math equation for a problem that doesn't really apply anything in real life. So how can we expect students, especially young students, who have been exposed to new technologies, new ideas, to actually be interested and motivated in learning, and especially related to math? So the main opportunity of this idea is that education technology is outdated. And that's because when you create textbooks, you create the textbooks years before they actually get published, so that everything is outdated. So how can we kind of grow up from this? The technology like calculators, and then Khan Academy, and then now there's a new technology coming out called artificial intelligence. And with this, we basically want to integrate artificial intelligence into the daily workflow our education system. So looking at the specific solution that we made, it's called a Real AI, and it's basically a phone application where you can take a picture of any object around you and select the specific criteria that you want any question to be about. The app will generate questions, and then based on the type of user you are, you can answer them in-app or on a website. So our presentation here, we're going to go through why we made this project itself. We want to make sure that we're using the most up-to-date technology, so we're using the OpenAI API to generate questions, to engage students in a more direct manner. So any question it creates is completely brand new. Along with this, we have an interactive interface where you could directly answer questions itself. Finally, we had a difference between teachers and students. So teachers are able to generate like 5 questions at once, get a code that students can use to enter in a website. Students themselves can have an individual plan where they're able to just answer questions directly on the app itself. So currently, a lot of companies like Alphabet, which includes Google and Microsoft, are investing in education technology. But why? So the education technology field is growing in the market size is eventually going to grow to a multi-million dollar size. And that's why people are starting to invest early on. Based on some survey results recently, it's easy to see that a lot of people, especially students, are having a hard time staying focused. Especially after the pandemic, it's hard to stay motivated. Along with this, a lot of teachers are reporting that fact as well. And so because of this, our main target audience is students and teachers. As well as anyone who really wants to encourage the overall growth and learning of their student or someone they know. We want to implement this in 2 different ways. First, we want to look at implementing it in a district-wide approach. And this is the reason to do that is that the school districts buy software packages as a bulk for their specific schools that are in their jurisdiction. Along with this, we can have an individual subscription plan for anyone who's not affiliated with any schools. So because of this, we have some short-term goals. And we are currently testing with 50 teachers. And based on their feedback, we're able to kind of grow and learn on what makes our app the best it can be. Our short-term goals include optimizing the app, making it more accessible, making it more easy to use, as well as the long-term goals include making a more augmented reality feel. So imagine just showing a camera to your object and it'll draw out an image of what the app could represent. A lot of this information is formatted. Has changed, but we also want to implement this across different subjects as well. So not restricted to math, but also including even learning and reading as well. So what we need right now is basically funding in order to maintain more relationships with education technology companies. Our platform uses APIs from pre-built applications such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, as well as using Google Cloud Vision Pro. So we do know that the softwares we're using are very viable and easy to use, but it is not going to be very cheap for the end user. So with funding, we're able to reduce the cost for the customers and make our app more applicable. Along with this, we want to make sure that we're using the latest generation of artificial intelligence services. For example, OpenAI recently released a 01 model, which is significantly better than the models that they had previously. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Feel free to contact us. Here's a QR code to our app. We have it published in the iOS App Store. So if you guys are interested in downloading it and trying it on your own, please let me know how that goes. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. As a parent of 3 children in school, I certainly can understand the issues here at play. But my question is, and maybe I missed this, but how are you measuring, how does your tool measure the efficacy and success of the users who are enabling or who are interacting with it? And how do you show that to them or to the stakeholders, such as the educators or parents?
Yeah, so right now we're testing the teachers, and our only metric is based on the students' responses that they tell the teachers how the app went. We are trying to look into collecting student data for individual metrics, especially for teachers, because that is basically what's going to be the most valuable add to our project itself. If we're able to tell teachers, hey, these students really like problems like this that they can use in the future. But collecting student data is another field of legal implications that we have to consider before moving on. But yeah, right now we're just going to collect data based on the teachers' feedback that they give while they test our application.
Since the core technology is something that's open source, ChatGPT or OpenAI's foundation model, how do you differentiate yourself from competition? I mean, everybody would go out there and use the foundation model.
Yeah, so with our application, we make it focused towards just education. If you go to ChatGPT right now, you could do a lot with it, and sometimes it might stray from your main goal of helping educate students. I think that's one aspect that really sets us different from a regular chatbot. And along with that, our interface with the teacher-student aspect, where teachers can generate questions and get a code, and have us have a website that students can put that code in and get questions from. That really does help as well in differentiating.
What are your needs right now?
Right now, we need support in spreading our mission, so getting more funding, along with reducing costs of operating with AI and API models. We also need it to help with marketing. So we've been looking into different social media platforms, and in those platforms, we're able to target teachers specifically or students based on different tags we can add. But that obviously will increase the cost of our operations. So adding funding would allow us to spread our application because it is already published. So we just need people to get more awareness on our projects.
So in grades K through 12, teachers are required to teach certain pedagogies generally set by state boards of education around the Common Core standards. So how are you going to make sure that the questions that your app generates meet Common Core metrics and quality standards so that the kids, so that the teachers can say that they're adhering to the Common Core or varying state standards?
Yeah, so right now, the teachers are using this application as sort of a warm-up exercise before their actual lessons. But we are going to consult with the teachers themselves to kind of talk about, based on their feedback, are there questions relating to the field or the level at where the students are at? And then we could in-house write the specific core standards we want the model to use when creating the questions. Because we used and because we coded this ourselves, we're able to fine-tune the actual model's query to get what specifically we want. So we're definitely consulting the teachers to make sure that we're getting the right questions for them.
So as you think about what you're going to do with potential funding, I can understand wanting to get more people to test and kind of refine your product. But have you thought what your long-term business model for this might be?
Yeah, so we are thinking of implementing this as a software for a service. So pitching this to different school districts as a packaged software deal. I think that also includes a concept other than math as well. So maybe for different subjects, have a suite of different softwares. And more long term, I think our company would be more about the teacher-student interaction, because collecting data on individual students, personalizing the questions based on the students' responses to their previous questions is something that we could look into. I think that's definitely an area where teachers benefit the most from, especially because yeah, that type of data is kind of invaluable to them, and to see what, like, how their students do and adjust their teachings based on that is something that they do at an individual level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so our last company for the Launchpad, it's going to be Ethereum by Yusuf.
Hi, my name is Siddharth, and I'm a freshman in aerospace engineering. Today, more than 70,000 wind turbines power over 1/10 of America's total energy output. On the global scale, that number rises to over 340,000, amounting to 8% of the world's energy output. By the 2050s, as we run out of fossil fuels and climate change wreaks havoc on our planet, the question becomes, what then? What do we do then? As a civilization, we will only ever need more and more energy. In fact, 50% more by the next 50% more in the next 30 years alone. In fact, but wind turbines are our best bet. They are relatively efficient and rapidly scalable for the near future. In fact, wind turbines are expected to amount to 30% of the renewable additions in the next year alone. Furthermore, but that number is the cost of a single wind turbine failure in the US for a wind farm operator, $30,000 US. In fact, that number is so big that it doesn't even account for all the costs that we don't think about, the downtime costs and everything else. In fact, wind turbines, the problems, but the solution is obviously the maintenance of wind turbines and preemptive maintenance and inspection. But the ways that we do it today are inefficient and unnecessarily expensive. That's exactly the problem, and that's what we're here to fix. At Ethereum, we plan to fix the wind turbine problems by using drone inspections, and we plan to do this by maximizing efficiency and minimizing costs using drone software. Furthermore, and how it works is that the drone will autonomously follow a predetermined flight path, and it will fly around the wind turbine, capturing videos and photos in detail. The software then analyzes the data and alerts the wind turbine operators about the need for maintenance if it is there or not. Then preemptive maintenance can take place, and that allows us to save all that unnecessary cost and allow wind turbines to remain operational for much longer periods of time. Furthermore, when we do the inspections with our software, the wind turbine remains in motion the entire time. So that revenue loss is also reflected. What that means is that drone inspections of wind turbine blades are often half the cost of any of the other types. And we can nearly guarantee a 98% accuracy from past tests from other competitors. For our competition, we have several competitors in the US and the world alike, but most of them have spent huge amounts of money developing drone software on their own, developing entire drones on their own. And what that means is that each drone for a wind turbine inspection ends up costing over $20,000 US. For us, since we are not developing the drone, but we are just developing the software and using DJI's existing drones, we can make the same software more efficient at 80% less cost. Our roadmap is that in the first quarter of next year, we are planning to begin developing our test kit, and we are planning to begin prototyping our software initially. By the second quarter, we are looking to begin flight tests and incorporate more of the advanced features. And by the third quarter, we are looking for large-scale testing with local windmill operators in Illinois. And we have also worked with AIAA to begin a tech project within that, which we are hoping will begin by next semester, which will allow us to test the software on a personal level with more engineers who have more experience in design. Furthermore, Professor in the Aerospace Engineering department has expressed interest in this, and I'm looking to him for advice in the future. One of the best things about our company is that we are looking to scale into multiple industries at the same time. We are looking into runway inspections, aircraft inspections, and even inspections of other infrastructures, because we feel that drone inspections can greatly improve their efficiency. As soon as we have enough revenue to branch out, we will. Yeah. Any questions?
Thank you for your presentation. So essentially, your innovation is to build a software that would go into commercially on-the-shelf drone set. Is that right?
Yeah.
And there's nobody else that's doing that right now.
As I said, we do have competitors that do that, but they sell that with their own drones, and often they use they sell it with other sensors, which we don't do. Furthermore, all the software solutions in use today, there are two in the US currently. One of them requires the entire flight training to be done for their drone, and the other one uses the software that means the windmill is stopped during the entire process. And we plan to improve that by keeping the windmill operational and making it autonomous.
So the latest generation of turbine blades already includes acoustic emission sensors and any current sensors or pressure sensors. What new or additional information will your drone provide with those sensors already in the latest turbine blades provide?
We are looking for more in-depth analysis of the turbine blade itself, and we are looking on ways to improve the efficiency of the blade as well. While those sensors do provide data about the structural integrity of the turbine, we are looking more at improving the rate at which we can detect them, and also we are looking to improve the rate of detection inside the blades as well, and the entire structure as a whole, and then
So if I understand correctly, yours is a visual inspection of the turbine.
Initially, yes.
Yeah, I agree with one of his comments in that I think a substantial portion of the sensory data that you get should be structurally within the housing, the generator, the blades, the detect vibration, things like that you can't necessarily see visually. I think the visual model may be complementary to that, but the bigger issue, I deal with a lot of the injuries, people who work on these things. The big issue is downtime. As you mentioned, inspecting them, noticing that there's an issue, weakness, fault is one thing, but increasing the speed at which we repair that is the most important thing from the aspect of the person or the entity that owns the turbine.
Yeah, I completely agree with your statement. And while the sensors will do some of the work that our drone does, we are initially only looking to do visual, but that's easy to incorporate and to test on a large scale. And we plan to not only do visual, that's just the initial step for us, until we have the experience to use LiDAR and infrared. So, yeah.
What is your go-to-market strategy? And secondly, if something like this can be done at an 80% lower cost, then why are the competitors already doing it?
Competitors are working on it, and our market strategy, I'll do the market strategy first. Our market strategy is to sell the software two levels. One, obviously, on a per-use basis, and second, on a subscription base for larger big farms and bigger orders. The 80% cost thing, the reason it hasn't happened yet is that while tests have been done, in the US there have been certain restrictions, and a couple of companies have experimented with it, but ultimately it still didn't work, from what I have read so far. Furthermore, most companies have taken the route of developing their own drones themselves, selling it as a DIY customizable drone option. So in that way, I feel like they have also developed their own software, but we plan to just develop the software and to keep it possible. That's all.
Thank you for your presentation. At Enterprise Works, we've seen a lot of drone technologies come and a lot of drone technologies go. I guess I would just have more of a comment than a question, which is I would encourage you to do more customer discovery in the wind turbine industry. I think there is a lot of opportunity there to help those entities save money or earn more money with their products, but I'm not exactly sure how much you talk to actual operators or companies themselves, so I would encourage you to do so more so in the future.
Yeah, that's really
Awesome, yeah, so that was the last pitch, last startup company from Zero2One's incubator. Now we'll let our judges decide who are the winners until 8:15, and then we'll be back in a few seconds.
Wait, what city was it? I guess it makes sense. It's just gonna be cheap if they go out. You guys just like all just use it together. Where's the music for that? The retreat. Are you playing an actual music? You're just making more literary. There's a real music. Oh yeah, wait, the one you were showing us in the car. That was so sad. Make it happy. Make happy. Ask you a question. We have so many different ideas that we don't. Like, all of it was with I'll be in Chicago. What's the most expensive one possible? Like Abbott. We got some more. It's like 20 miles, but it's like an hour. I guess it's this is just I didn't think of that.
But
Oh yeah.
Yes, right.
I stayed there like, and I was like, I thought we could cook on the drive. No, I did like walk around and see stuff with them. So they got a kid.
Like, I don't know what I don't even know what I can't say.
So it turned into like a 20-minute drive. That's still a lot. No, it's still a lot. That's why. That's a lot. Moving in the same. Probably. Not yet, but it's a little bit harder.
I gave you the last. And as well as put the numbers on the spreadsheet. But if I scroll down, so just 1, 2, 4.
I was not gonna make it. I was not going for it.